Yo, what is good, everybody? Jay, what is back at it again? This time, I'm hitting y'all with part three to what if Deku had a solo leveling system. Now, okay, y'all have been liking this, so I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it coming. Uh, First things first, I just want to say thank you all so much for the support you guys have given me. It's such a blessing that I can come here on this app and be able to speak my nerdy self on here. But you know what? I'm not gonna keep y'all. You know what? You already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. You already know. Cause come on, we both know. You're coming back anyways. You guys like the videos. Come on, like them, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want. I don't, I'm gonna start uploading pretty consistently, I hope. But anyways, let's get into what if Deku had a solo leveling system, part three. We cut back to Midnight jumping in the room and being like, pick your hero names. And Izuku is like, alright, bet. So he's thinking. And finally, he's the last person to go. Everybody has their same names as canon. I would say that Bakugo, he would pick is, I'm going to say he would pick Dynamite. We'll just go with that. But Izuku, he goes up there and he's like, the leveling hero, Shadow Monarch. If you guys don't like the name, I kind of just picked a random name. So, if you guys don't like the name, please comment down below and we can fix that. Anyways, so what I'm going to say that happens next is Aizawa comes in and is like, good, now that you guys all have your hero names, we're going to be doing internships. So, everybody, I want you guys to look at the screen and see who you're going to be, who you want to be interning with. Everybody looks at the screen, and I feel like Izuku, what he would do is, I feel like for his system, uh, he wouldn't really need to intern anywhere. So what I'm going to say he would do, I'm going to say he would choose to go with Nejire. No. That's just cheesy. I'm gonna say he goes with Bakugo to Gran Torino because why not? Because Gran Torino can't really teach Izuku anything, but he just wants to be with his boy. So that's what he does. So after this, everybody splits their ways, and what happens is Deku, he walks up to you, he's like, "Yo, bro, you doing all right? I heard about what happened to your brother. You're not gonna try and do anything crazy, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like rubbing back his neck, and he's like, "You're going after him, aren't you?" And he's like, "No, not at all." And he's like, "Okay, why'd you pick a Hosu hero then?" And he's just like, "Dang, well, yeah, I'm going after him. You can't really stop me." And Izuku's like, "Oh, I don't intend to. But just know, if you go looking for revenge, he will cut you down, and he will not hesitate to kill you." And Ida's just like, "Wait, what?" And he's just like, just a little bit of advice. Maybe listen to it. Maybe not. Who knows? If you don't, you don't. If you do, that's not on me. After this, what happens is Bakugo catches up to Izuku. He's like, "Yo, what did you tell Ida?" And he's just like, "Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it." And Bakugo's like, "All right." So they all go to. So Izuku and Bakugo, they pull up, and Izuku, he already knows that Gran Torino isn't going to be like dead. Well, one, it's a pro hero, so realistically, he's not going to just kick the bucket. And two, Bakugo would. Or I feel like he wouldn't fall for it directly, but like he would be like, "Wait, what?" Oh, and then he'd be like, "Oh, that's just sketch-ups." And after this, what I can see happening is Gran Torino being like, you with the green hair, you catch on fast, don't you?" And Izuku's just like, "Yeah, my name's Izuku, by the way. You can just call me that." And he's like, "Gran Torino, pleasure to meet you. And you must be the one for all brat." And Bakugo's like, "Yeah, you can call me Bakugo." And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna call you Worker, Worker number one." And Izuku's just like just starts chuckling, and then Gran Torino looks at him and is like, "Worker number two." And Bakugo starts laughing and like, "Wow, you don't even get worker number one." And Gran Torino starts laughing. He's like, "No, don't worry. I'll call you guys by your names." So after this, what happens is Bakugo, he's just training with Gran Torino, and like I would say he would get another like 5% out of it. I don't see like much happening within the first like week. Then the second week would roll around, and I'm going to say, like, he's trying to train Izuku, and Izuku's like, "Dude, look, if I really wanted to, I could become a pro hero right now, right here, right now. Like, I could probably beat All Might at this moment." And Gran Torino's like, "Geesh, fair enough, I guess." So after this, what I would say would happen is, um, they would like Gran Torino like, let's go and get you guys some patrol experience. That way you guys at least know somewhat of what your guys are doing. So he's like, we're gonna go to Hosu City. And Izuku's like, oh, if Ida's not dead yet, I could probably find him and help him. And he whispers to Baku, he's like, yo, let's try and look for that hero killer. Like, to the point where Gran Torino couldn't hear him because, you know, he's Gran Torino. So after this, they get on the train, and the Nomu attacks the train, and as usual, Gran Torino jets off, literally. And Izuku would be like, let's go see if we can find that hero killer. And Baku's like, all right, bet. you think I'm not gonna take you up on that? You think I'm just gonna let you have all the fun? And Izuku's like, don't worry, I know you won't. So after this, they hear a scream down an alleyway, and it's a man's. But they go down the alleyway, and they only see Ida. They see Native crawling out of it. And they're like, dude, what happened? And he's like, a kid from UA saved me. He's back in that alley. The hero killer's there trying to kill him. And then it cuts to a scene of Ida, like flashback. What happened is Ida Recipro burst in there, took Native in and out, and got him away from the situation, then came back and was like, Stain, you have killed my older brother. Now I'm here for revenge. And he's like, man, you really could have been saved. But nah, you're trying to get for revenge, and Stan would be like, oh, you're not killing me at all. You're not avenging that brother of yours. He was a fake hero. All he wanted was money and fame. And he was like, that's not true. My brother would never. And he's like, well, to be completely honest with you, I couldn't care if he was or wasn't. Regardless, there's only one true hero, and that's All Might. And Izuku, and like what happens not Izuku, but what happens after this is Ida's like, don't say that stuff about my brother! Recipro burst kick, and it actually lands on Stain. To no avail. Because it's revealed that he had actually stabbed Ida in the shin and licked the blood, so now Ida is paralyzed. And then the second this happened, Izuku and Bakugo, they just appear from the shadows, and Izuku's just sipping on a smoothie, and he's just like, man, Ida, you really took that advice to heart. I'm kind of happy, but not really, because I guess you did come back anyways. But anyways, you need some help? And Ida's just like, no, this is my fight. It's not yours. And Bakugo's just like, oh, shut up. So immediately Bakugo would just lunge in with just a massive hit, knocking Stain into a wall. And what would happen after this is Stain would immediately get back up and be like, oh, wow, a little bit of a strong one do we have here? And immediately after this, Izuku would be like, you know, Bakugo, I'll let you handle this. I'll go make sure he's alright. So he takes Ida, he carries him, and he's like, oh, there we go. And he just takes him out the alleyway, puts him to safety, and then comes back and sees Bakugo on the floor, passed out, because he overused his muscles. And we actually see Stain being like, well, I guess I could say you're a true hero, you little brat. Talking about, he's saying, you true heroes, talking to Ida and Bakugo. And he's like, I sense no sort of malicious intent from either of you. And Bakugo is just like, damn it. And he passes out, and he's like, I'll leave you for later, but I'll leave you a little parting gift. And he's about to stab him in the arm to, at a major, vital point. He wouldn't have his arm anymore. He wouldn't be able to use it. And immediately after this, Izuku, he would just pull up and he would just kick the blade out of Stain's hand, and he's just like, well, I get, what do we have here? You're really trying to take care of him too, aren't you? And Stain's like, how did you get here so fast? Weren't you taking that one brat? And Izuku's just like, oh, shut up. He picks up Bakugo's like, all right, Bakugo, come over here. And he takes him out of the alleyway, and then he comes back and sees Stain's about to run away, because he's not going to try and fight him. And Stain's like, you're a true hero, kid. Now run while you still can. And Stain's walking out of the alleyway, and all of a sudden, Izuku appears in front of him and is like, I don't think I will. Actually, I wish you would join us. The heroes, that is. So immediately, Izuku would send a massive tornado kick towards Stain's, head, and Stain would get, triple. And he would get hit into the wall, again, his head would bounce off the wall like a basketball. And Izuku would be like, dang, ooh, I should not have hit him that hard. I'm gonna turn this down. And so he's like, all right. And he cracked his knuckles, he cracked his neck, and he's just like, all right, Stain, come at me. And he taunts him the come at me sign. And Stain's just like, ah, you rat. And Stain would just start going in there trying to get one slash on him. And Izuku's just sidestepping everything. And he's like, very impressive. Oh, that almost got me. And he's just like, and after 5 minutes, Stain's starting to get worn out. And he's like, dang it, I gotta run soon. I don't want any pro heroes to show up. And Izuku's just like, okay, I think it's I think I've had enough. So immediately he would go boom, 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 hitting him with 3 gut punches, and Stain would be like, he would spit out like spit and blood. And after this, what I can see happening is Stain just passing out, and Izuku just stands over him and is like, "Wow, this was a lot easier of a fight than I expected. I guess what should I have expected from a normal old person with a simple blood quirk? However, I do find it interesting if you would have joined us. So, are you going to continue sitting there and being here as a worthless sack of anti-hero? Or will you join the heroes and help fight all of the bad crime in this world? Arise, Stain." And immediately, a red flash would appear. Stain would stand up with red in his eyes and he'd be like, "Yes, sir." And then he would kneel. And after this, he would be like, "Go now." And Stain would just disappear into like a puff of smoke, starting his first. That is his first shadow monarch. I know I said, or that's his like first like shadow in his army, because or it's like dark, but it's whatever. Anyways, because I didn't really want to do this, but I'm like, Stain would be kind of sick, honestly. So after this, what I can see happening is, oh yeah, that would be sick too, getting him, and then I could go into like, okay, yeah. Ooh, so after this, what I can see happening is, Bakugo wakes up and he's like, "Where did he go?" And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I took everything under control." And after this, they go and help Ida and Native, and they bring him to a hospital, and everybody's, and then the rest of it goes by, and the police make a report that Stain is just gone. Like, he hasn't been doing anything for a week. Maybe he was hurt in an outing. Who knows? So after this, they all return to school, and everybody's just like being like talking about what they did on their internships, and Aizawa just comes in class and they start their lessons. It's just a bunch of gen eds. So after school, Izuku, he talks to Aizawa, he talks to All Might, and like he brings both of them in the room and he's like, "So I thought I should show you guys this just because like in case somebody finds out I don't want to get in trouble." And he summons Stain, and Stain is just like kneeling and just like, "Master Izuku." And Aizawa and All Might immediately get on guard. All Might immediately buffs up and gets in his like fighting stance, and Aizawa just immediately pulls his scarf and he's like, "Izuku, why did you bring him here?" And Stain is like, "I will not hurt you. Master Izuku does not see it in his heart." And All Might and Aizawa are both just like, "Wait, Master?" And All Might goes back to his Small Might, and Aizawa just relieves, and he's like, "Don't worry, he's part of my army now." And they're like, "Wait, army?" And he's like, Yeah, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. But I just wanted you guys to know so I didn't get in trouble for future reference." And they're like, "Wait, you can just do that to people?" And he's like, "Yeah, it expends a lot of energy, so right now I'm sitting at about like 25% of my full power." And I'm just saying that because I don't want him to be too busted, because it's MHA, come on. If we brought Sun Jin Woo to this world, he would solo. He would just speed blitz All Might. Come on now. He could probably rule the world. But after this, what I can see happening is, I could see him being like, "All right, go away." And Stan would be like, "Yes." And he would just puff into a cloud of smoke, and he would just like fade away. After this, what I see happening is Aizawa and All Might being like, "Man, kid, that's impressive. How many others do you have?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, I have just run-of-the-mill people. I mean, just things that I created with my like conjuring. It's just like 4 or 5 of them though, so nothing too crazy." And then I also have him now, and everybody's just like, "Whoa, that's so crazy." And after this, like, he would go and he would hang out with Nejire, Bakugo, Tamaki, and okay, the squad: Mirio, Tamaki, Nejire, Bakugo. And they would all go to an arcade, and him and Nejire, they would be, just hanging out, getting some studying in, because, finals are about to come up, you know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm playing. So after this, what I can see happening is Bakugo and Izuku, they return to school the next day, and whenever they do this, I was always like, "All right, class, we're going to be doing finals in about a month, so you guys have that long to prepare. Remember, you can't just train your brain or your brawn. You have to train both simultaneously." And everybody's like, "Whoa, that'd be so cool." So after this, Izuku does not need to study. But after this, we would have like a little montage of Izuku just going and hanging out with Nedra, like the squad basically, and like helping them study because he's just balling like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's helping them all study, and he would ace the test. Like I'm just gonna time skip that month because nothing like notable would happen. So after this, that month would go down, and like he would ace the test, and everybody in canon would do as they did in canon. Bakugo would do a lot better though. That's the thing. And what I can see happening is I saw being like, all right, I'm sure you guys thought you'd be fighting robots, but no, because we've had a villain attack. We suppose we might as well. So you guys are gonna be fighting us. So after this, like the teams are announced, and it's going to be Bakugo. It's gonna be the same teams as canon. I'm gonna be so honest. I don't feel like changing up teams already. So, or I don't feel like changing up teams and having to go through all that work and all that. But after this, what I can see happening is it would go a lot different in canon for Deku and Izuku. I mean, Deku and Izuku, Bakugo and Deku. So what would happen is All Might would immediately try and smash the town, and Izuku would just pop up behind him, just walking towards him with a smoothie, like what Sukuna did in JJK. So after this, Izuku being like, okay, well, I'm gonna let you and your protege fight for a bit. But after that, after you beat him, then, and he's just like looking at his nails, and he's like, after that, I'm gonna mollywop you. So he just sits down and he just crosses his legs, and he's like, all right, bet. He kicks his head back, and he's just like, ah. And then and then he gets one of his shadows to go and get him another, like some popcorn. So he does it, and he's like eating, watching it, and it's a good fight. Like they're like going blow for blow. Bakugo using all. Sorry, I cannot speak today. Bakugo using all of his quirks to his exposed Black Whip, Flow. I don't remember all of the ones that I gave him so far, but he basically uses like all the ones to his disposal. After this, it would be like a good 10-15 minutes of them just clashing, and eventually All Might would be like, ha ha, boom, and would just land a massive blow, and Bakugo would just be out like a light. And he's like, ha ha, hero, you couldn't beat me if you tried. And he looks at Izuku, and he's just like, now you. And he's like, oh, you're done? And he puts his popcorn over to the side, he cracks his neck, and he does the Goku warm up, like jumping up and down. He's like, all right, oh yeah, take those weights off. You're gonna need the help. And All Might's just like, wait, what? So he takes off the weights, and he's like, ooh, man, that feels a lot better. Let's go. And he didn't even get a second. So immediately, Deku speed blitzes him and lands a massive blow, like right where his injury is, and he's like, ugh. He spits out a crap ton of blood, and he just gets slammed into a wall, and he immediately like deforms, and he immediately pops. And after this, he's gonna be like, ooh, I did not mean to hit him there. And he goes over to All Might, and he's just like, All Might, are you good? Like, you need me to act like I fail? And All Might's just like, no, I'll be fine. Just like, give me like 24 hours. And he passes out right there. And Izuku would be like, we win? And Aizawa would be like, damn it, kid. You make things so hard. So immediately he would kill the screens, and he would like tell everybody, okay, everybody, well, now we're gonna be just moving on, and different training ground. And everybody's like, wait, what? What happened to All Might? Did Izuku really just finish him with one blow? And everybody's like, well, no. I guess Bakugo and him were exchanging blows for quite a bit, so I guess maybe All Might was just tired. So, and everybody just makes an excuse, and after this, what I can see happening is Recovery Girl comes and heals him up a little bit, like as much as she can. Aizawa and Bakugo both wake up, and Bakugo's just like, wait, did you win? And Izuku looks at All Might, he's like, nah, I didn't. Nah. He'd be like, yeah, just barely. I had to like run out, and because he didn't want to hurt Bakugo's ego. Like he wants to make Bakugo think that he's like pretty strong, like going blow for blow with All Might. And Bakugo's like, come on, don't lie to me. And Izuku be like, yeah, with one blow. And he's like, one blow? Seriously? You really made me put me in the dust. You really love putting me in the dust, don't you? And Izuku's just like, I guess. I mean, I don't really choose to. You kind of just fall behind anyways. And Bakugo's like, shut up, bruh. So after this, what happens is it's revealed that they're going on the forest training. Like, they're gonna have a camp out. They're gonna have they're going to a camp and it's in the middle of the woods for 2 weeks. So they have to go get their form signed, and they all do. And after this, what I can see happening is they're all on the bus, and Izuku, like, they're all just talking about who the strongest is, and everybody's like, yeah, well, no, Izuku has to be the strongest. I know he said it was Todoroki at the USJ, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, what would really happen if he went all out against us? And Izuku's like, well, if I went all out against y'all, then you guys would lose for sure. Even if you all came all at me all at once. Heck, even if all might join, you guys would probably still lose. And he would get like a little bit cocky and was like, no, shut up, you're not obviously not telling the truth. When in reality he was. And Bakugo knows this, and he's like, I mean, and everybody's just like, wait, what, Bakugo? And he's like, nothing. Because he doesn't want to give away Izuku's like semi-secret of being so strong. So after this, what I can see happening is they all the bus stops and they all step out. My bad, guys. I had such a bad sneeze. Oh my gosh. I cut that out. I cut it out. Don't worry. But anyways, they all step off the bus and it stopped and everybody's like, wait, everybody get back on the bus. And Izuku's just like, yeah, this about to happen. So he just lets it happen and he's just like, hey, Bakugo, you trying to race? And Ida's like, can I join? And they're all just like, and they all decide that they're all going to race towards the camp. And after this, like, I would say about like the only people that would make it would be like on like a decent amount of time would be Izuku, Ida, maybe Todoroki would come about like 30 minutes after, and yeah, and maybe no. So yeah, but Bakugo, Ida, and Deku, like Deku would make it in like 30 minutes. Like Todoroki would make it. No. Bakugo would make it in about like an hour. I would say Ida would make it around the same time, like an hour, and then Todoroki would make it like an hour and a half, and then everybody else would make it another hour and a half. So like 3 hours for everyone else but them. So everybody's just like, wait, Izuku, did you get here? And he's like, yeah, no, I got here. It was about like an hour, I guess. And everybody's like, oh, that's good. So they think like, oh, maybe he's not the strongest after all. Maybe it is Bakugo. Like, because, or like maybe he's tied with Bakugo or something. And he's just like, sure. So after this, he goes up to Koda and he's like, yo, what up, kid? And Koda's just standing there in shock, like, you made it here in 30 minutes? Didn't they drop you like 5 miles away? And he's just like, shh, I could have made it faster too. And Koda's just like in shock. He's like, wait, what? So after this, like, he just walks off, like, ruffling his hair, and he's just like, don't worry about it, kid. And they all go to their bath, and Mineta, I don't think I expelled Mineta, but if I didn't, it's going to be the exact same scene in canon. Deku saves him, and he learns about all of what Koda is. And after this, what I can see happening is, what do I want to happen? I can see, oh, the training. Izuku's kind of just sitting around. Like, there's no real training that he can do other than his dailies, which he's doing, like, every single day. So, I know I don't really cover those, but it's kind of just, like, boring. And, I get, like, the really only thing that I would be able to cover would be, like, a dungeon, which you'd be able to clear, like, one of the low-scale ones, but not one of the mid-tier or high tiers, let alone. I'm going to say he goes to one of the like low tier dungeons while he's here. Like he just asks Aizawa if he can just be isolated for like a day or two, and Aizawa's just like, I guess. I mean, you're strong enough for it. So, what? So Izuku he clears a low tier dungeon. I'm gonna say he gets another shadow, not like a too powerful one, like about the same level as Stain, maybe a little bit stronger. And after this, what I can see happening is, oh yeah, I'm just gonna tell y'all now, I'm not giving him Egress. Egress, get up! No, wakey. No. That would be a really funny scene to cover, but no. The Egress awakening we all wanted. Wakey. It's time for school. But no. So after this, Izuku, he would try and do a mid-tier dungeon, and he would get like halfway through, and then he'd be like, nah, I gotta go back. So he'd go back, and after this, everybody just trains how they do in usual canon, except Bakugo, he just works on training, like for trying to produce sweat in colder environments. So I would say just like I don't know, like there's really no helping that unless he just gets like a like busted hero costume, which I feel like he would just get from May or Melissa in the future. Little heads up, that's gonna be his ship. So because I'm just gonna say Ida and Uraraka. I don't want to cover ships for anybody like other than Izuku. And even then, there's not even going to be a lot with those. It's just gonna be like you guys know what the ship is, so you guys know what the ship is. After this, it's actually revealed that they're going to be having a little like hide and seek scavenger hunt thing. I guess that's the only words that I could really use to describe it. So after this, they all go through their things uh and Izuku he stays behind and he goes and he helps Koda. And like he's talking to Koda because he realized that he walked away from the group. So he's talking to Koda and Koda's like, "Wait, how are you so strong?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it, kid. If you maybe if you can beat me in a fight one day, I'll tell you." And he's just like, "You promise?" And Izuku's like, "I promise." So after this, Muscular's like, "It's funny that you think you're gonna be able to live to fight him, you little brats." And they both just look at the direction of the deep voice, and he's like, "Koda, run. Go to Aizawa." So that's what Koda does. And Muscular's about to rush him, and Izuku just grabs him by the muscle, like the pure muscle tissue, and he throws him back to where he was. And uh, I don't feel like that would feel good for him, so he was just like, huh, you look stronger than you're stronger than you look, you brat. I guess I'm gonna have to take you a little bit serious. So he puts in his one eye, and Koda like still hasn't ran away is like, "It's the person that killed my parents," and he would run away even faster. And Izuku would be like, "You're the one that killed his parents? Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to get the revenge." And he cracks his knuckles and he starts doing his warm up. He just gets in a fighting stance and he's just like, boom, 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 lands a roundhouse kick into a heel kick into a spinning heel kick. And like Muscular, he'd feel this. Like after that one, he would get slammed into the like wall of rock, and he'd be like, "Wow, I guess I'm gonna have to take you a little bit more serious than I was planning to." And Izuku's just like, "Come on, man, you're not beating me." And he pulls out his daggers and he's like, "Let's see how it feels whenever you get your muscles slashed." And he would just immediately start slashing, and this would not feel good like at all. So Musky would be like, "Boom," and try and land a hit, and Izuku would just catch that, and he'd be like, "Nah," and he would twist it, and he would slam him over his head, and like mind you, he's strong. Like he's strong. Like he just basically put all of his stats into speed and strength and intelligence. Like speed, strength, durability, and intelligence. Like he wouldn't really care for stealth. Uh he wouldn't really care for stealth right now. He would put everything like because he has balanced stats, he would just take stealth out of it and then put like restack it into everything else. Because he has a lot of stats right now. So after this, Stain Muscular be like, "Ow, man, you brat, you hurt. You hurt me." And he just like rushes at Izuku, and Izuku just goes kick straight back into the wall, like bounces back to him like a little ball of muscle, and he just does it over and over again until Muscular just finally passes out, and he's like, "Wow, that was actually kind of fun for somebody who's such a villain." I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you. I'd like to do this again. So how about you join me and we can spar whenever we want? So Muscular, if that's really even your name, how about you join me so we can fight even more? Maybe one day you'll be able to see the blood of you can see my blood, but I highly doubt it. So Muscular, join me. Arise. And I would say a like blue light would flash from him, and immediately it would fail. And Izuku would be like, "Wait, what?" And he would be like, "I guess I didn't convince you enough. Didn't you say you really wanted to beat me? So how about we see if you can for the rest of eternity? So now, Muscular, arise." And a flash of blue would do it. And he would join his armies, and he'd be like, "Master Izuku, I am your humble servant." And Izuku would be like, "Good, now disappear." So he would be like, "Yes, sir." And he would fade away. And Izuku would be like, "Okay, well, that was easy." So And the reason why I'm giving him muscular is because if you guys, so I'm giving him muscular because of Sunjin Woo in the original. He had not tank. It was the one that had the hammer, or not hammer, but I don't remember what it was exactly. But it was like tank, like bro, he's dead, like he's gone. And Egress just looks at him like that scene, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And the shadows are just pumping him up. After this, what I can see happening is yeah. So what I can see happening is, what do I want to do next? Oh yeah, Izuku, he goes and he helps everyone out, and Tokoyami is going through it, and Izuku's just like, yeah, let's take him to Bakugo. So immediately he would knock Tokoyami out and be like, just in case, let's still take him to Bakugo. So he takes him to Bakugo, and Bakugo's popping his explosions, and like the villains wouldn't be going for Bakugo this time because just because of the fact that he didn't look like a villain, they'd be going for Izuku and Tokoyami. Yeah, no. So Izuku, he gets trapped into a ball, but he immediately just gets broken out. I'm gonna be so for real with you. Like, he just breaks himself out because he's him. After this, he saves Tokoyami, and he's like, so villains, what do you guys even want? And it's all of them in a circle, it's all of the villains and Izuku and Tokoyami. He's like, well, I guess I don't have any choice. So he immediately just knocks out all of them except for Kurogiri and Shigaraki. Everyone else is just easy pickings for him. So immediately Shigaraki like, what did you do to my people? Kurogiri, get the Nomu. And Izuku would be like, I don't advise that. Because I'm just gonna make him part of my army. And he summons Muscular and Stain, and he's like, take care of these. And immediately they would get TV'd away. And Izuku would be like, I really wanted to test out how this power worked with you two. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I wasted your time. And immediately Izuku would be teleported as well, and both his men would disappear with him. And he would just walk up to, and he would just walk through the portal and be like, let's see where this leads. And you'd see All For One, Shigaraki, and Kurogiri all just standing there. And All For One would be like, so you came through my portal. I guess there's really no other point for you to be here. So let's see. I'm gonna strike you a deal. You join us, I'll give you immense power. And Izuku would just be like, he would take his pinky and he would clean out his ear, and he would be like, yeah, sorry bro, I don't really need it. However, I do understand that you're a villain, and feel like you'd be quite useful. So All For One is like, useful? What do you mean? And then immediately he would get a tornado kick straight to the head, and he would get bounced off the wall. And Shigaraki would be like, Master, no! And he would be like, oh, you're getting some too. And he's still in the air, and he spins around even more, and he lands another blow on Shigaraki, and he sends him flying up into the air through the building, and Kurogiri would be like, no, young master, no, young master. So he'd go for Shigaraki, and it would be Izuku and All For One, and he'd be like, and All For One would be like, you brat. I guess I shouldn't have expected less from All For One's successor, or for the successor of One For All. And he'd be like, wait, you think I have One For All? And he's like, wait, you don't? That's what our intel told us. And he's like, nah, I know who does. I'm not gonna tell you. And All For One is like, oh, you'll tell me. And he walks up to Izuku, and he's just standing, and they just look face to face, and Izuku's like, nah, I won't. And he grabs him by the waist, and he just German suplexes him, and his face mask would just break, and he'd be like, you brat. And Izuku would just be like, I don't see why I shouldn't make you join me. Oh, except for the fact that I know who you are now. You're All Might's nemesis, aren't you? And he's like, huh, you're a smart one, aren't you? And Izuku would be like, I suppose. And he would just go whack, whack, whack. And he would hit him like, what, dot, so he would just hit him with 15 different punches. And after this, All For One would just be like, and he's like, and Izuku would just be antagonizing him and be like, oh, are you really hurt? I guess I shouldn't. I guess I should take it a little bit easy on you, shouldn't I, you old man? And All For One would be like, old man, who are you talking to? And Izuku would just be like, however, I guess I should say I'm surprised that you're able to withstand all of that. So, I guess I should wrap this up. He would snap his fingers, Muscular and Stain would both pop up, and they would both like rush at All For One and like land blows on him. And Izuku would be like, axe kick, and he would land a massive axe kick to the forehead of All For One. And this would rattle his brain along with Muscular punching him and Stain like right about to slash him, and Izuku would hold up his hand like King Baldwin and be like, no. And immediately they would both stop like midair, and All For One would just fall on the ground. Like he would be like, you dang brat. And he would fall on the ground, and Izuku would just dispel his two soldiers and he'd be like, thank you. So he would walk over, he would stand over All For One and he would step on him. Like he would step on his legs and be like, you're very strong for a villain, but it's no matter. If I really wanted to, I could have taken you out in one blow. So, join me, All For One. Now, wakey wakey! And immediately, like a mixture of black, red, blue, like all of these different colors would just flash from All For One from this direction. It'd be black, then red, then blue, then black, then red, then blue, and like it couldn't decide, and it finally lands on blue, and it's revealed All For One is part of Izuku's army, and he'd be like, oh, that was a lot easier than I expected. So, and I know that seems like a little bit busted, but you guys also have to think, like, in this world, he could probably literally make anybody. The only reason why I made Muscular take 2 attempts is because realistically, he doesn't have a strong will. Like, if he went for Gigantomachia, it wouldn't work because he has a really strong will towards All For One. Unless he used All For One as something that he wanted to like use to get Gigantomachia. Same thing with one of the Nomus, like unless he had Shigaraki tell him to join, then I mean he probably wouldn't get a Nomu. So after this, like, oh yeah, All For One, he's still gonna have all of the quirks that he has, except he's not gonna be able to take quirks now. Like, he's not gonna be able to take quirks anymore. He's only gonna be able to copy them and store them. So he's basically just a more OP version of Monoma, except he can store like infinite. However, it doesn't steal. It would only grant Izuku the quirks. And Izuku now has all the quirks that All For One does, except for All For One, of course. Yeah, so busted. And All For One can give quirks as well still. He just can't take, or like he can copy, but he can't take. So yeah. And that's the hideout arc. So after this, they would all return to class within like a good month, and like because like he would tell All Might about like what happened with All For One and Muscular, and All Might would be like, wait, you have my arch nemesis as one of your soldiers? That can't be. How were you able to beat him? And he's like, dude, come on. He was easy pickings. And he shows him and he's like, Master Izuku. And he'd be like, see this, and he would dispel him, be like, thank you. And he'd be like, yes, Master Izuku. And he would disappear. And anyways, so then after that month of times, like All Might, he would be like weirded out about it, but he would also be like, okay, as long as he's in a hero's control, I guess I can't stop him. And after this, the month time skip, and Aizawa was just like, class, I have an announcement for you. And that is where our story leaves off. Thank you all so much for watching. What if Deku had a solo leveling system? This one, I know it was a little bit faster paced, but it is a little bit longer of a video for y'all because I felt bad about disappearing for so long. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, what y'all want me to do for the next one. And without further ado, peace out.